We're back to talking about health. There's been an increased call for governments to decisively address the challenge of training, accommodating facilities and a lack of infrastructure to effectively meet its objective of facilitating reduction in maternal and child mortality. Midwives in Nigeria back up this appeal with a reminder that more attention would save nearly 1,000 women and infants who die every day owing to a lack of access to maternity services and care of midwives at childbirth. Our correspondent, Gloria Omezoke, examines the state of midwifery across the nation.
Nigeria is home to over 1.7 million people and still seeing a massive increase in its birth rate, putting a strain on the already distressed health sector. However, health professionals are reported to be unwilling to live and work in rural areas owing to poor infrastructure, communication and poor prospects for career progression. To tackle this problem, in 2009, the Midwives Service Scheme was launched. But since then, maternal and infant mortality has remained a big challenge.
We also have an aging population of midwives, and therefore the challenge is who to take over when this aging population retired. There are issues about education of midwives, where midwives cannot go beyond, let's say, a diploma training in midwifery, and therefore it does not entice the young people into the profession of midwifery. And therefore, for every country which is focused on addressing this challenge, if it's able to look at the midwifery profession and to reposition it, it stands a better chance of achieving its MDGs.
It is known globally that where a midwife exists, over 90% of maternal morbidity and mortality can be reduced. But even with its existence in Nigeria, several of these challenges account for the death of up to 3,200 women within 42 days after childbirth.
I'm not too happy at the way that those midwives are living. Some of them are living under very bad conditions actually in the local government. But since they are doing a good job to save life, should we allow women to die? Pregnancy is not a disease, so we should not allow women to die. And I just plead and implore those midwives, wherever they are, to continue to work to save lives of women in this country.
At forums like this, year after year, the campaign by the government becomes more intense to save more lives, especially in northern Nigeria, where the maternal and child mortality rate is even higher.
In northwest and northeastern Nigeria, there are very few qualified health human resources, and yet girls don't take up this profession as they should. So I want to use this opportunity to call on parents and all of us to ensure that our daughters, our sisters, our wives, our neighbors take up this profession.
We are ensuring that the basic commodities are there, drugs are not necessary. The demand, we also need to sensitize the women that these facilities are there. Let them go and use it. In addition to that, they've also introduced the conditional cash transfer, where they are given a token. As you meet, by the time you come for the first antenatal care visit, you are given 1,000 naira.
Now, after all said and done, it boils down to how much progress has the country made to reduce the growing rate of maternal mortality and attain the Millennium Development Goals by 2015. And so far, this depends on the right political will and adequate investments made by the government. Gloria Omezoke, Channels Television.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says a petroleum depot located in the Apapa area of Lagos exploded tonight, spreading to a 2-story and a 3-story building. Residents of Edmore Street by Wilmer Crescent, Olodi Apapa, are worried that more buildings may be affected. They're urging relevant agencies to move in and check the situation. We're in the southeast now, where as part of efforts to tackle the housing challenge in Abia State, Governor Theodore Orji recently commissioned 300 units of 3-bedroom bungalows in Isieke Housing Estate Phase 1. The governor, who also commissioned 2 other projects, including the newly constructed Mbom-Mweze Road, said these efforts are aimed at enhancing rural development and improving socio-economic activity in the state.
Housing is one of the basic needs of life, and the government owes it as part of the responsibility to provide an affordable housing scheme for the people. So with that in mind, the Abia State government recently commissioned a 300 unit of 3 bungalows at Isieke Housing Estate Phase 1 to serve the Abia people.
My brothers and sisters of Abia State, especially those on whose ground we are standing today, this is an upliftment for all of you that there is development coming to your place.
Still determined to meet the Millennium Goal in housing sector, the governor also performed the foundation laying ceremony for the commencement of Isieke Housing Estate Phase 2.
Today we have gathered to harvest another legacy project and democracy dividend of routine administration in the housing sector of the state economy.
That done, it was the turn of the traders to receive 4 coaster buses to aid relocation process to the new Ubani Ibeku market, and then commissioning of Mbom Umwezi Phase 2 road.
That event that carried their caps by band has changed her name from Mara to Naomi.
The governor, however, assured the people that his government will continue to deliver the dividend of democracy.
Gentlemen of the
Provision of basic education infrastructure has also been included in the Niger Delta Development Commission's key projects in Edo State. The acting managing director of the commission, Dr. Christy Atako, says the NDDC is determined to promote effective child education in the state by providing a conducive learning environment. During the commissioning of the Aduwawa Primary School, Dr. Atako pointed out that the classroom project will go a long way towards ensuring the child's overall development.
Residents of Aduwawa community in Edo State came out in their numbers to welcome the officials of the Niger Delta Development Commission who came for the commissioning of the block of classrooms built to promote child education in that part of the state. The NDDC's acting managing director, Mrs. Christy Atako, explained that the commission is out to transform the lives of the people in the Niger Delta region in line with President Goodluck Jonathan's agenda and charged the children who are the beneficiaries of the classrooms to justify the government's investment.
NDDC has provided this model primary school for the growth of the education sector. You'll agree with me that education is the basis for the economic development of any nation. We want to thank Mr. President for supporting NDDC to deliver on its mandate.
Members of the community showered praises on the NDDC for bringing this project to their domain.
I'm very, very happy. I'll be praying that in my own time, a thing like this will be happening. But today, I'm very happy to see a school like this, one of the best in Edo State.
We will continue with their good work because since ever we've been in this state, we have not experienced anything performing this type of work in this state.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son.
Mrs. Atako then went ahead to commission the project.
For 6 years now, Duffield Primo Foods, makers of Indomie instant noodles, has sustained its Independence Day Heroes Award with prizes for brave children. This edition witnessed more kids applying for the rewards, though the panel of judges selected 3 winners who stood out in their courageous act of saving lives.
It was the Indomie Independence Day Heroes Award, and the organizers gathered children and parents in Lagos for the event.
We are very proud of this function, an initiative that Indomie started in 2008, where we said that we should be rewarding the children who, for their acts of courage and bravery, which may otherwise have gone unsung.
This year, 3 winners were selected and rewarded financially. In the spirit of the Independence Day celebrations, human rights activist Joe Okeodumaki delivered an address on the need to see children as agents of national transformation.
It is pertinent for a nation that indeed wants to grow, to make conscious efforts to provide a better future for them, as the nation's destiny lies in their hands.
The award appears to be gathering momentum as the organizers plan an improved package for next year.
In this particular year, we had almost 900 applicants. Of the 900, unfortunately, we only have to choose 3 winners. So we're trying to create a program next year where we can do a little bit more and acknowledge people who don't win also.
This is a worthy cause. Of course, you have so many companies engaged in corporate social responsibility, but this is one that is directed in a different direction.
We, the adults who come here every year, we learn a lot from it, because if there are things that we are yet to do, or there are things we close our eyes to, we need to open them so that we can be relevant within our society.
The winners could not hold back in sharing their plans for their prizes.
I will use it for my school fees, for my education. I advise everybody to be eating Indomie Noodle.
The 6th edition of the Indomie Independence Day Heroes Award may have come and gone, but as organizers look forward to next year's edition, more consumption of Indomie instant noodles may just keep growing more indomitable kids.